Hello friends, welcome to my channel SushantChessWise. Today we are at the next topic of must know game series and this is our second lesson and we are going to see what are the games that one e4 e5 player must know, whether he plays e4 as white or if he plays the move 1 e5 to e4 as black in both cases. Anyways, these lessons I have made in a way that we learn to use the rules and exceptions in the opening play, that is basically related to the following of opening principles. So let's get started with the game quickly. E4, E5, NF3, and we will start with the discussion of the move NF6, the Petrov defense. This is the first case which I am taking of Petrov defense in this series. The move NF6, we see that black has copied the move, white's move, that many beginners say that black is copying. But black also did development with attack. For the move bishop c4, here do check out my detailed lessons on bc4, both Hindi and English. Old lessons in English have this interesting line against the Petrov defense. This is a gambit line. After knight takes e4, white goes knight c3. Anyway, today's discussion is the move knight e5. After knight e5, the correct move is d6. But if black plays ne4, see how the knights and the king have come in the same line and white uses the strange looking but strong queen e2. The point is that the e4 knight cannot move. See, if nf6 here, then knight c6 check and the queen is lost either on e7 or d8. For example, be7 then nd8, and if see qe7 then just knight takes on e7 and white would win. So black has to strengthen the knight. Black goes d5 and white once again puts pressure on the knight with the center pawn, of course. And now the knight is lost. At least a pawn is lost in any line now. If bd6, then just the knight moves away. Pin is created after castle, take, and of course we can't take queen e4 because of re8. So knight g5 and the queen is heading to h5. So white is winning. So the main move is queen e7 here, and after queen e7, e takes d5, queen e5, and just e takes d5. See, the queen is pinned. Queen cannot capture the pawn on d5. So after bd6 takes, and bd3, white is just a pawn up. And see, at higher level this position is of course winning. Development is fine, pawn is extra. It's not an isolated or a doubled pawn. So white should win the game very easy. Let's move to the second case now. So e4, e5, nf3. Let's look at the move d6, the Philidor defense. Last time we discussed the move bishop c4. This time we are going to look at the main move d4. E into d4 is almost forced here, and in this game black went bg4. See, trying to pin this knight. It's a case of early pin. The queen side bishop c shouldn't be developed so early. It's not a good thing to do. We will see why these games are, see, that's why very important. Pawn takes pawn, and now see black is in real trouble. If pawn takes, then queen d8, kd8 and e5. It's a double attack on f7 and g4, already a pawn up. See, the castle is broken, means the white position is winning. So black went bishop takes f3, queen takes f3, d takes e5, bc4, development with attack. And see, now black has to play some move like queen f6 here, perhaps forced, but black developed with nf6, seemingly a good move. The squares c, f7 and b7 both are weak thanks to the c8 bishop unavailable on that square. And see, now comes the strong move qb3. Queen moves away, attacks the soft points f7 and b7. Big problem for black here. Black tried the move queen e7, protects f7, and if now see qb7, then check, trades the queen and gets some play. Although white is pawn up, white can do bd2, but see, the position will offer some play to black, and many players would have done this, right? By not taking the b7 pawn, he gains tempo over it. So the material which he didn't take, he converted into tempo, like he played nc3 here. Now see, queen cannot leave because see, f7 is hanging. And after the move c6, b7 got protected by the queen here. See, queen supports the b7 pawn, but white got the move bg5. So at the cost of c6, white got two developing moves. And now see, black cannot develop himself freely. nd7 just allows qb7. This threat is there, bishop takes f6. When see, queen cannot leave because the hanging state of b7. So black played the move b5. And see here, white understood that this is white to play and win. How do players understand this? It's like a book position. Simply in the opening, you have to count the number of developments. This I have been telling since last 2-3 years. But people think that it's not that important. What will happen, right? But see, count the development. It's a very simple trick. White has see 4 pieces here, 2 bishops, queen, knight, 4 developed pieces. Black has only 2 queen and knight, means our 2 developments are extra. Move is white's, that makes it 3. So 3 development extra means it's time for a combination. Whenever the development difference is more than 2 or more, we should look for tactics. And this is what white did. See, knight takes b5, cb, bb5, check, nd7. And now see another good move, castle. A double developing move, as I said previously. Castle often does 2 things at a time. Here see, the king became safe, that is secondary, but see both the rooks. See, they are touching each other now. Means it's like a double development at once. So black went rook d8. If castle, then see outright blunder, ba6, kc7, qb7 mates. And if see rook d8, which was played in the game, there came the stunning rook takes d7. Without wasting any time, the h1 rook joins the attack with rook d1, and look at these 2 bishop and the rook, they never got out. That is the problem with once fallen behind in development, it's almost impossible to recover. Black tries queen e6 here, but now see white has several ways to win. Many suggest the move, see bishop f6 and then bd7, which is of course winning, but white saw bd7 first. Very simple, knight takes in order to protect the b8 square, but still qb8, nb8 and rook d8. This was one of the most famous games. Paul Morphy, one of the greatest players in the history of chess, playing against 2 players, the Dukes of Brunswick. 2 black players were playing simultaneously against him, and Morphy beat them very easily because his play was way ahead of his time. Let's go to the third game. So in these examples, we have 2 examples of early pin and 2 examples of symmetrical play where the black players copies white's moves. Let's go to the third one now. e4, e5, nf3. Black goes nc6, white plays bc4, black plays d6 here. Another strange looking move, f8 bishop is stuck, white goes nc3, and here b7. This is the right move, we can say, stopping ng5. nf6 here is mistake, it allows white to go ng5. In this game, black plays bg4. Looks like a good move. See, the bishop is pinning the knight. Knight into e5 is not possible because of knight e5, just the piece is lost. So black thinks that he is developing properly, right? But see again, if you count, white already has 3 for 2 and the move is means somewhere black has lost a move. White goes h3, good move. If bf3, then takes, white is clearly better. Black can play nf6, but after bb5 or d3, white is doing well. So black goes bh5. But do note that bh5 is even worse. It looks like there is no knight e5, but this is what happened. The trouble is that after d takes e5, see, just there is queen h5. Pawn is lost. Development is way more for white. And after c, bishop d1, there is bf7, ke7 and d5 mate, like the legals mate in our first lesson. And after the move knight e5, which looks best, and it looks like white has blundered after queen h5, knight c4, the piece is lost, but see, qb5 check, qd7, white regains the piece with qc4. His center control is way superior, already ahead in development. It's a clearly better position for white. White should win easily from here. Let's look at the fourth example now. One may think I am taking all examples of white winning the games. Let's take one example of black as well. See, it's more related to the opening principles. Black goes nf6, the 2 knights game, and we saw that the move knight c3 is bad last time. Even the move knight g5, we saw that there is d5. White goes d3, normal move. bishop c5, and here the correct move is nc3 or c3. White goes bg5. Early development of bishop again, and see black just plays d6. Waits here. White could still transpose with the move c nc3, and things stand equal here after be6. We will look at the example bg4 in the next example. Okay, that will be our game 5. And here we will note that the play should have been just about slightly better for white. But white went with the move castle. First of all, see, castle is not required when the center is closed. See, it was absolutely okay to just develop nc3. Sometimes in e4, e5 closed positions, castle becomes too early here. And combined with this bishop misplaced on g5, black goes bg4. See, he is going to play nd4 to check out the first lesson where knight d4, qd7, that game which white does. Same will happen with reverse colors if black gets nd4. So nc3, nd4 is clearly better for black. White goes h3, and now see, 3 moves consecutively has really gone wrong. bg5, castle, h3, playing pawn move in front of the c castled position, okay, which weakens the position somewhat. And black uses a strange idea, h5, because of the c poor placing of king on g1, and see hg, another bad move, nh2, but things are already difficult for white. See g3, very strong, nf3, and this position is black to play and win. Do try to calculate till the end. Black almost found till a forced mate here. He went with the stunning ng4. See, all things combining, the early pin by the bishop, the poor castled position, the pawn, see, played on the rook file, and now see, after bd8, black goes bf2. He keeps the pawn and gives up the bishop so that the winning threat remains here. After king f1, rook check, ke2, rook d1. If kd1, the pawn queens. This is the difference between first gf3 and bf2. And here see, white went nd2, controlling the f1 square, but there follows a swift mate in 3, nd4, kd1, knight check, kc1, knight e2, checkmate. Let's look at the 5th and our last example now. So the game starts with the same sequence of moves, e4, e5, nf3, nc6, bc4, bc5. It can go both same ways, nc3, nf6, d3. The moves nf6 and bc5 can be interchanged, d6, bg5, and what should black do here? I told you black's right move is be6, be6, fe is bad. We'll cover this in the next line, why the move be6 is bad. In the next lesson we will look at that, and today we are going to solely focus on the move bg4. Black copies white's moves, we can say. This is called symmetrical play in the opening. White charges with nd5, nd4, same thing, c3, and now see c6, the first blunder, copying the moves for a very long number of moves. Like see here, it's already move 8, and see cd4 will come. But see, this is the point. First nf6 check. This is the main thing. The white piece moves with check, pawn takes force, and now cd4. And no matter what, black's piece is lost. If f takes g5, then dc5, piece gone. And if bb4 check using an intermezzo, there comes just bd2. The same bishop drops back, and after the trades here, bd, qd, bf3, gf, white is winning. So let's go to the game. Black played nf3 check, gf3, and wherever this bishop moves, be it h5, h3 or e6, in this game black played be6. White has the same strong move qb3. So it's going to be a discovered attack like an x-ray through this knight on the f7 and the c. Focal point is the e6 and the b7 squares. So comes bb6 to protect b7. Now white can win by nb6 and nf6 both. White played nf6, which is a bit stronger. We will see why. gf, be6. If fg, then bf7 winning. And if fe, queen e6, queen e7. If king f8, do note that bh6 was met on the spot. Queen e7 forced, queen f6, bf6, rf8, bh4. Well, white loses one of his pawns after rook f3. But here comes the very strong move, see. ke2 protects f2 and d3 both, and see rooks get connected. So in the end game, it's not necessary to castle. The rooks can be simply connected. So rook f7, rook g1, that is rook g8 now, kd7, rook g2, simply doubling of rooks and keeping f2 protected, rook f8, rook g1. See, the threat is simple. g7 is the point from where white wishes to exchange more. The f pawn is extra, so soon he will plan to get f4 in some way, and this is of course with proper play, winning position for white. So see, these are the perils of copying the moves for a very long time. Typical symmetrical game, and this series I will try to cover important games, opening traps based on opening principles. Do let me know how you found these lessons in the comments below. Thanks for your time.